Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Easton Cook and I turned 30 in Thailand. Now in this video, I'm gonna go through our trip. I'm gonna play clips, I'm gonna tell you about the experience and how you can have a similar one. Now throughout this video, I'm not being super specific, and that's because if you want exact details on what we did, and I mean like places, apps, notes, the full itinerary, well, I am gonna link that itinerary to my new shop, eastonexplores.com, and it is free to download. Yeah! Free. That's wild, y'all. I'm excited. I'm excited about this. I'm excited to be able to even have a shop. So if you really want the specifics, like a play-by-play on what we did, by all means, go to eastonexplores.com and you can download that free today. For this YouTube video, though, it is to provide images and a quick description on kind of what we did and how we traveled Phuket. And that's right, I said Phuket. We did not go to Bangkok. We flew right to Phuket and took a boat to the Phi Phi Islands. Now, before I dive into the video, let me just give you some overall highlights of Thailand. Everything is incredibly inexpensive. Tori and I ate each meal for about $5 to $10 total. That's together. And we also got massages nearly every day for roughly $11 total. And that's an hour and a half each. The locals are super nice. Weed has become legal, so it is everywhere. And nobody warned me of this, so let me warn you. Massages that end with like happy endings or other services, not super uncommon. Transportation is very easy thanks to tuk-tuks or Grab. And I'll get into what Grab is later, but basically just think Uber app. Cash is king. You can pull Thai baht from any ATM, and some reputable and ubiquitous ATMs are Bangkok Bank, SCB, KTB, CIMB, just to name a few. Just about all businesses take MasterCard and Visa, but a 3% charge is added to whatever you're purchasing. However, very local spots do cash only. See, normally when Tori and I travel, we pull about $100 to $150 depending on where we go, and we just kind of carry that cash around. But in Thailand, it turned out to be the vacation where we spent just about everything in cash. Really, aside from the time that we ordered the Grab cars. We ate pad Thai a lot. It's everywhere, and I mean, duh. So what I'm not gonna do is fill this video with us just eating chicken pad Thai over and over, because I can assure you, we did. Now, like I said, in this video, I am gonna be going over the highlights of each day. So I'm not really going over like where did we go to eat or how many massages or where did we go to get massages, and not all that. I'm going over the big events each day. But again, if you want the more specifics on each day, by all means go to eastonexplores.com, download that itinerary. Now let's dive in. All right, I don't know how I'm gonna put this into a video yet, but vlog style. What time is it right now?
It is 11:15.
11:15, our flight's at 9:45 a.m. Heading to Incheon, and so we just got everything booked. Oh my gosh, I'm not even holding that straight. We just got everything booked, and so we're packed up. So that was us late the night before at about 11 p.m. And if you haven't seen the planning video I posted, y'all use the link right above my head. It's basically just a minimally edited video of us preparing for our trip last minute. And it gives you an idea of how last minute flight attendants will typically prepare for trips. Or it's just me. I don't know, who knows? So the next morning we got up around 7 a.m. and we were absolutely exhausted, if you cannot tell. We get to the Atlanta airport, check our bags, and we got our seat assignments. And we were extremely blessed to get first class going from Atlanta to Incheon. And that is our route, by the way. We went Atlanta, Incheon, Incheon, Phuket. And from Atlanta to Incheon, we were on an A350 aircraft. Beautiful plane. The flight was about 15 and a half hours. We had an incredible experience in first class. And when we arrived in Incheon, we went over to check our luggage into Korean Air for a 6-hour flight to Phuket. But since we had a roughly 2-hour layover before boarding our flight to Phuket, we explored the Incheon airport, and I just gotta say, it is a beautiful airport. Probably one of the most beautiful airports I have ever seen. It was so clean, and I mean, look at this. A place to stretch before your flight. I surely did this. This was incredible. Basically a whole yoga studio just ready to go. We also got some awesome peach tea in this airport, kind of chilled up in this little lounge area. And then we boarded the flight and we're off to Phuket. On Korean Air, we flew a 787 plane, which is cool because my airline that I work for does not have this plane, so I got to experience this for the first time. While I was on the plane, I booked transportation to the hotel that we would stay at when we got into Phuket. We wanted a hotel near the airport because we landed in Phuket around 10 p.m. Now, if you look at the map here, to get to the city center down south, it would take about 40 minutes. Well, we were not about that, especially since we landed so late. Y'all, we didn't even know how to transit Phuket. We had heard mixed reviews. We heard some people say, rent a car, it's easy. And then others say, no, don't rent a car, just take tuk-tuks or use the Grab app. So we were a little conflicted, but we almost rented a car and then last minute decided against it when we found out that Grab the app was basically equivalent to the Uber app, and we figured we'd just use that and try it out. However, since the hotel that we were gonna stay at had a pickup service for only $3, we took that instead. Now, something that neither of us has ever experienced, and we just found this really fun and cool. We've never been picked up by someone at the airport holding a sign with our names on it. So this is just a cool experience. But they shuttled us over to the hotel, we checked in, there was no deposit required, which was kind of cool because we're so used to that here in America, and we got settled in our room. Now, the night that we got in, we stayed at the Proud Phuket Hotel. It was beautiful, it was close to the airport, and we would stay there again. The next morning, we ordered a grab car, and it was there within 2 minutes. And yeah, as you can see here, it was a van, so much space, and I took a screen recording to show you that the app operates very closely to Uber. Now, this drive was about 40 minutes, and as you can see, y'all, traffic was wild, so very happy that we didn't rent a car. Worrying about parking, driving, and just road etiquette would have added so much unnecessary stress. Now, where were we headed in this grab car? Well, Tori and I have a pretty standard rule when traveling. It's not one that we follow to a T, so please, if you see us breaking it in the future, please don't be like, you said. But as a generic rule of thumb, international trips we stay in Airbnbs. You get more of a culturally accurate experience, and it's typically cheaper than international hotels. Now, domestic, we do stay in hotels for the most part. Hotels are typically reasonable, and they just, I don't know, it just makes sense to us. However, we broke this generic rule for Thailand, and that's because Thailand's currency conversion rate is roughly $1 equals 36 Thai baht. So that means your dollar goes very, very far in Thailand. Hotels are wildly inexpensive and extremely nice. So we chose hotels for this trip, and it did not disappoint. We stayed in a Hilton Doubletree, and wow, great room, great service, perfect location. We got settled in and we went to a tiger sanctuary. One of the coolest experiences of my life. We went to Tiger Kingdom, and it was important that we went somewhere that was as ethical as possible. For us, this meant no sedation, no removal of claws or teeth, and overall well-treated animals. And honestly, we believe we found the place. We hung out with the cheetah, which was just one of them. I mean, y'all, I can't even, just look at this. Look at this, this is crazy. I cannot believe we were this close to one. He was very sweet, he looked so serious. I asked him if he knew Chester Cheeto, he said no. And as you can maybe see on our faces here, we had a very healthy respect for the fact that this animal could kill us in a moment. We also got in an enclosure with a tiger, and that was very nerve-wracking. I would even say more than the cheetah. Although, I gotta say this because it was said to us multiple times, it is very strongly instructed to pet with force. Apparently the tiger can sense fear, and actually that made us even more fearful. But I never thought that I'd be doing this, so this was just such a cool experience. We then got back to the hotel later on. Y'all, the cleaner left a happy birthday surprise for me. This was such a great surprise. I'm talking, it left me speechless when I entered the room. Just take a look at this. This is amazing. Also, and this is just a side note, the cultural thing was that just about everywhere you went, and this includes some restaurants as well, you had to remove your shoes before entering. I really like this. And after all this excitement, we went over to the Get Your Guide boat tour to James Bond Island. And again, all the specifics will be in the itinerary. Now, to get to the boat, we had to take a drive down this long pier, but the boat was beautiful. Oh my gosh, so spacious. Tori and I got our own seating area. As we traveled over the water, we stopped at this land formation to canoe through it. A guide paddled, but he did let me paddle a bit here and there. Found a random jellyfish that he just picked up out of the water and let us see. We touched it. They feel weird. The scenery was gorgeous. Just take a look at all of this. We went through some caves, even one that required us to lay down flat to get through, which was optional. You didn't have to go that route, but we surely took the option. And then it was back to the boat for swimming and slides. And as you can see right here, I was having the time of my life. I totally forgot I was 30, felt like I was 13. I was just having a ball. And then we continued on for a while until we got to a point where we could go no closer to the James Bond Island. It turns out it required a longboat to get to. Longboats are very, very common in Thailand. So we took that longboat from our main boat, got over to the James Bond Island, and it was really cool. It really was, but it's not somewhere you want to spend more than 30 minutes. The land formation from the movie is actually a lot smaller than it looks. The beach is a little run down. I mean, it's just a neat area because of a movie moment. But after all of that, we went ahead and got back on our longboat, went right back to the main boat, and I was surprised with another birthday celebration. Check this out. And after all of this, it was back to Phuket. Now, I will say this excursion was a little more pricey, but if you're looking for a full day on the water with really neat sights and meals included, this is for you. So let's talk about the next day. The next day, elephant. And this day started at 7 a.m. and was totally worth it. And here I'd like to add a special note. Just like with the tigers, there are elephant areas that are not ethical. And the difference between the elephants is very, very clear. The elephant sanctuary we went to was just that. It was a sanctuary. They did not allow the elephants to be ridden. The most you did was a mud bath and you fed them. And here's how we know the difference in how the elephants are treated. The difference is extremely clear. Just one look is all you need. We were driving one day, and as we were driving, it caught our eye that someone was riding an elephant on the side of the road. And so whoa, that's crazy. And we got excited for a moment because we couldn't believe it. And then we saw the elephant, and the elephant was skinny. The elephant had kind of a sunken area where the person was riding. And then we saw where they were taking the elephant to a bunch of other elephants where people were riding them. Y'all, the difference is undeniable. We didn't know that beforehand. We'd always heard you shouldn't and it was unethical, but we never saw why it was. So I can safely say the place we went to, the elephant sanctuary, as you'll see in these video clips, was very ethical. First of all, before we even get into the elephants themselves, look at the snacks that we gave them. Y'all, this was just the appetizer. A whole watermelon cut up into chunks. But let me tell you, elephants loved them. Let me just play a whole bunch of clips here showing you all the elephants. Just enjoy all the elephants. Look at this. They throw the food into their mouths. They don't even set it. Like they throw, I can't. This is the cutest thing ever. We saw how elephant poo can be used to make paper. I found this really interesting. I couldn't, this was amazing. And then came the mud bath. A little insight on why mud baths are beneficial for elephants. Elephants have very few sweat glands in their skin, so they essentially sweat through their toes. Well, the mud acts as a coolant and repellent to bugs, and it also acts as a natural sunscreen on extremely hot days. With all of those positive facts, we were happy to help our elephant friends. We got in the water with them, helped them cool down, and y'all, it was so cool. We gave elephants a mud bath and help rinse them off. The elephants visibly loved it. I mean, they were having the time of their lives. Y'all, this is a must in Thailand. If you go to Thailand, you must go see the elephants. Riding is a no. If they offer riding, I recommend you do not go there. But mud baths, yes. And the place we went was called Phuket Elephant Sanctuary. Again, I highly recommend it. And after this incredible experience, we needed to head over to the Phi Phi Islands. So let me show you on the map real quick. We're staying here, and we had to go to this dock to board a boat over here just to go there. Now, most hotels, in our experience, will hold your bags if you're in between a checkout and check-in time. All you have to do is ask the hotel. Well, the DoubleTree did that for us. So we got our bags, we ordered a grab, we went to the pier on the opposite side of the land, and we boarded our speedboat. Now, the options to get to the Phi Phi Islands are speedboat or ferry. The ferry takes about 2 hours and the speedboat takes about 1 hour. Now, naturally, the speedboat is slightly more expensive, but in Thailand, the word expensive is doing a lot of work there. It cuts down the time by a whole hour, so I say it's worth it. Now, once we got to Phi Phi, we paid an entrance tax, of course, cash only, and then we walked to our boutique hotel. That's right. Walked. That's because there are no cars on the island. None. You walk everywhere. And this clip right here shows you exactly what this experience kind of looks like. The day that we got to Phi Phi, we really just spent it exploring. Walking around, checking out restaurants. As a matter of fact, hold up. There's a restaurant we went to called Anna's. And if you go to the Phi Phi Islands, y'all, go to Anna's. Oh my, it's a must. The food was simply delicious. It was incredible. Explaining it wouldn't do it justice. I can't do it. Also, fantastic massage location. It's called Emerald. Again, indescribable, so I'm not even gonna try and describe it. Now, the next day was our second to last day. We booked an entire day on a longboat. I'm talking in a private setting through Get Your Guide. A longboat is an experience in Thailand. I would even say it's a must. We met our guide and he walked us to the longboat. Now, he spoke almost no English, so the translate on iPhone was super helpful. I also bought a loaf of bread for the trip, and Tori thought this was dumb and one of the weirdest things ever, but I just wanted something to settle my stomach while we were out on the water all day. And then, the loaf of bread came in handy in a way that neither of us could have imagined. We pulled up to an island and got really, really close to other boats, as you can see here, but these guys were pros. And the island we came to? Monkey Island. I'm just gonna play a whole bunch of clips so you can see this amazing experience. Y'all keep in mind, the bread was for me, but I donated it to my monkey friends. Here we go. All right, seriously, coolest stop. I mean, that was literally the first stop on our longboat tour, and it was amazing. There were no time constraints, right? No worries. This is another reason that Tori and I don't really do group settings. We much prefer private. It's because we don't want the time constraints. Now, don't get me wrong. We'll do group tours. I mean, we did for my birthday, that whole boat ride, but not very often and within certain settings. But y'all, let me tell you, with this Monkey Island, we stayed for as long as we wanted. And let me tell you, we stayed for a while. We were having so much fun, and then we left. Oh, and did we leave with bread? No. The next stop was a beautiful beach in Maya Bay. And I'm not even 100% sure if I'm saying that correctly, but it was beautiful. Not something we were looking forward to because we didn't even know about it. We went in, looked at it, walked on the beach, and we went back. You're not actually even allowed in the water, so it's just kind of beautiful pictures, and that's about it. The sand, super soft, very fine. So the beach was cool, it was fine. It was probably our shortest stop. And after that, we went to a snorkeling spot, and we spent a long time here. Tori and I both love snorkeling. As we were snorkeling, we actually heard a lot of commotion. There were a lot of people out there, but they were all spread out. A bunch of longboats. And turns out, look at this. This little guy had everyone excited. This cool little black tip shark was just swimming around. We got close, but of course a respectful distance. And I should point this out in case you're wondering. I shot all of this footage on an iPhone 15 Pro with no case. I do not recommend doing this, but I feel like you deserve to know what kind of cameras are in use here. The iPhone is water resistant up to 6 meters for up to, I think, 30 minutes. So this does not guarantee that your phone will be safe. So I don't recommend doing what I'm doing. I just do it because, I don't know, I've never personally had an issue and I just do dumb things sometimes. But moving on, our last stop was, get this, another part of Monkey Island. I honestly think our captain just knew how much fun we were having on our first visit. So he swung us around another side and we got round 2. Here's just a bunch of footage. Y'all, we just love the monkeys. I mean, we loved them so much. And then it was time to go back. And as we made our way back to Phi Phi Island, this was roughly a 7-hour day on that longboat, mind you. I enjoyed sleeping on the edge. I found it comfortable. Tori did not. We watched what little of the sunset that we could because there were a lot of clouds in the way. And then it got dark. Now, you can't see in this video, but my guide and a friend we made on another longboat who seemed to have the same route as us, and myself, we all got in the dark water and we looked at bioluminescent plankton. It's really hard to see. Even for me doing the event right then and there, I couldn't see them that well, but I could see them a little bit. It was neat. I spent about 5 minutes in that dark water. And that was it. That was our day. That was our entire day out there. 7 hours on a longboat. And it was amazing. And this is our cute little boutique hotel. This is the next day now. We packed it up, got ready to go back to Phuket. Although, keep in mind, our flight back to Incheon from Phuket wasn't until later that evening. So we had a lot of time to kill. Now I have to mention this. While we were there on Phi Phi Island, Tori loved going to this mango shop here. All right, I'm talking nearly every day that we were there, she made a special visit, sometimes twice a day, to this mango shop. So I highly recommend you go there because she loved it. I liked it, it was fine, but she loved it. And right before we left Phi Phi, we bought some artwork. This is the same artwork that's hanging in our house from the My Luggage review video. I'm also obsessed with Spider-Man, so when I saw her painting Spider-Man freehand, I got really excited, so I had to include this in the video. Well, we took our hour-long speedboat ride back to Phuket. We got a grab, and we checked into a hotel for the day. Now, we looked for day hotels, but we could not find any available. So we checked in for the night without the intention of staying there that night. And we also made that clear to the staff. Now that didn't change the price. It sounded like they're pretty used to this request. And this is what we would recommend you doing, especially if your flight is at night. You don't want to waste the entire day just kind of sticking with your baggage. So book a hotel, keep your baggage there. And that way when you're done, you can go, when you're done with whatever activity you're doing outside, go shower, change, be clean. You can then order your Grab transportation and head to the airport not being all sweaty. Now, when we got to the pier in Phuket, we ordered a Grab. Again, Grab basically Uber. We went to a hotel that I mentioned, put our bags up, and then we went to just go eat. And we got some extremely local Thai food. I'm talking, y'all, Tori and I both had a drink and chicken pad Thai for a total of $4 here. It was the best chicken pad Thai we have ever had. There was no AC, it was outside, it was extremely hot and uncomfortable, and we ate and we loved it. And after that, we took a Grab right on over to the Big Buddha. Now, on our way up this mountain, to Big Buddha. That's where we saw people riding the elephants, as I mentioned earlier in the story. But we finally got to Big Buddha. It was a really neat experience. This monkey here made a guest appearance, and everybody loved it. As a matter of fact, he kind of stole the show. Really cool experience overall. And after all of this, we went back to the hotel, showered, got cleaned up, grabbed our stuff, and ordered a grab to go to the airport. We took that flight from HKT, which is Phuket, to Incheon, and then we went Incheon to Detroit. From Detroit, we went to Atlanta, and we only went to Detroit because that's just how, when you fly standby, you just kind of got to take the best flight available. That's just what it was. And overall, an incredible experience. Y'all, let me tell you, Thailand, it is a must. I knew it was going to be an incredible experience. I didn't know how much it was going to impact me. And I have to add this, keep in mind that while things may be much cheaper over there, it is kind of like death by a thousand cuts if you're not paying attention. You don't even realize how much you're spending per event, per meal, per item. These tiny purchases may seem insignificant in the moment, but they really do add up. Now, Tori and I, we didn't spend a lot, but we also spent more than we thought we would. But still, worth it. And that's all for today, y'all. Thanks for watching. Comment below if you have any questions on Phuket, or hey, if you've been and you just want to add your own tip. And remember to go to eastonexplorers.com and download the free itinerary of our entire trip. It's gonna have tips, apps we used, everything. And it is entirely free. And then, even then, if you still have questions, y'all, please message me, comment below. Of course, make sure and subscribe, like the video if you liked it, follow me on the socials, shop my Amazon storefront, all in the link in the description below. And you may have also noticed me wearing this incredible original shirt, Just Plain Tired. You can purchase this on eastonexplorers.com. Honestly, it's one of the best ways to support the channel, so I really do appreciate it. I'll talk to y'all next time. God be with you.